What's going on, people? So listen, if your personal credit is in position, you need to leverage it and get some revolving business funding. Go and incorporate a business and get some unsecured revolving funding up to $100,000. This is how much these banks will give you. Credit unions, big banks, you name it, fintechs. They will give you up to $100K for a brand new business. Now, let me give you an example. This is one of the financial institutions that I have funding with, right? So they gave me $100,000 in unsecured funding for a brand new business. Now, look at this. So this is a package. So they gave me what's known as a financing package. So in this package, there is 3 different products in here. So there's a credit card, there's a line of credit, and there is a loan. Now, the limit is $100K. So that means I split it between a line of credit and a credit card. The line of credit is $60,000 and the credit card is $50,000. Now, I could also ask them to restructure it to a loan, which means, now I want you to listen to this. With this funding package, I don't have to always do an application, right? If I need to, let's say, access $30,000 in a loan, I just have to call them and tell them, hey, listen, can you restructure this funding and put it into a loan, 30K. I will not have to do an application. So they don't need me to do an application. They're not going to put my credit report. I don't have to submit a brand new app. No, because I've already have access to the $100,000. So that means I can redistribute the limit as I want between a credit card, a line of credit, or a loan, or just $100,000 in a loan, or just $100,000 in credit card, or just $100,000 in a line of credit. So you have that option, that flexibility. Once you have that access, once you have access to that capital, you don't have to do an application again, which means it saves you from having to getting a bunch of inquiries. So this is what I always say, listen, in the Funding Academy, I'm going to leave the link below. I have access to lenders. I have access to banks and credit unions. So I tell you, listen, once you get into the Funding Academy, this is where you get to communicate with me, right? There's question and answer support. You can ask me questions. Which lender should I go with? I have a list of lenders. I have a list of credit unions, you name it. Because listen, the key is this. You want to be able to access these revolving capital while you still can. Because I did a video, all right? I think I took it down because, most people on YouTube, they don't appreciate free information. You see, you have a window of opportunity to try to access up to 100K. You have a small window. I did a video talking about that window. Now, if you don't know, you don't know, because I did a video. Most people don't take action. So you're going to miss, or you're going to have to figure out what that window is. So you have a small window of opportunity to get up to $100,000. Once you miss that window of opportunity, it becomes more difficult for you to get access to it, because now the banks are going to start asking for business tax return. They're going to start asking for business financial statement. They want to see business, They want to see the last 6 months of your banking statement, right? They want to see your financial statement. So they want to see more. So there's a window of opportunity that you have to capitalize on to get unsecured revolving business credit for a brand new business without having to provide business tax return, without having to provide business financial, you don't even need customers in that beginning phase, in that inception phase. So you have to, this is what we call the loophole in the banking system, right? If you have a brand new business, if you know how to structure it properly, your personal credit is positioned properly, and this is what I talk about in the Funding Academy, right? In the Funding Academy, it's a 1-year membership where I have training videos. This is where you get to ask me questions. This is where you get to communicate with me. I give you the information to transform your life so you can access $100,000 in unsecured revolving business credit lines, credit card, loans if you want it, right? If you don't want the loan, you don't take it. Like this package right here. It includes, you can get a business credit card, a business line of credit, and a business loan. It's all one package, right? But I chose to just get the business credit card and the business line of credit. The loan option is always there. So if I need to access a loan, then I just call them and tell them to redistribute that amount. So I don't have to do or have to submit a brand new application. So they're not going to pull my credit again because I already have access to that $100,000. Now, this is very powerful. I want you to think about this, right? You have access to 100K. Right now, the interest rates, right? Bank of Canada, they're about to lower the interest rate, right? So the interest rates are about to go down. So you have access to 100K in lines of credit and in credit card. Once Bank of Canada starts lowering the interest rate, right? Now you can capitalize and say, hey, listen, right? I want to lock it in at this interest rate. Can you move $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 from my funding package and then just put it into a loan? You have now once they will be able to do that within 24 hours, right? You give them a call and 24 hours, boom, they will restructure that loan. Now, listen, this is very, especially if you're in real estate, you need access to quick cash, you need access to quick capital. Listen, you have the option or you have the ability to have access to unsecured revolving credit at your disposal right now. This is just one lender that I'm talking about, right? There's another lender that I have $70,000 in unsecured revolving capital. Now, with this lender, I missed the opportunity window, right? So that means 70,000 is all they gave me. So if I want to get the extra 30K, because remember, they give you up to $100,000 in unsecured business funding. So another lender that I have 70,000 with, right? Because I missed the opportunity, the window of opportunity, because you only have a limited amount of time to try to get that 100K, right? So with this lender, right, $70,000, I'm good with that. So if I want to get more, then they're going to ask for business tax return. They're going to ask for business financial because I've missed that window of opportunity, right? Because that window of opportunity has passed. So that's why there's a video that I did. I told you can get funding for a brand new business, right? You have a window of opportunity, a small window of opportunity to try to get as much funding as you can. So in the Funding Academy, this is where I have training videos. This is where I coach you. This is where you can ask me questions. This is where I give you the strategy. Okay, listen, go with this bank. Once you get the funding, go with this bank. Once you get the funding, right? So that way you can maximize on the funding from these financial institutions. So you have 100K from one, you have 100K from one, or you have 50. Listen, if you go on their websites, they will tell you, we will give you $100,000, up to 100K in unsecured revolving funding. So if you get 10, that means you still have another $90,000 to access, but you have to know how to do it. It's a game. See, the banks and the credit unions and the financial institution, they're telling you, listen, we will give you up to $100,000 in unsecured revolving funding for a brand new business. You don't have to put any collateral, right? We don't need any. You don't have to pledge any collateral. We're not going to put a lien on your home. We're not going to put a lien on your assets. It's unsecured, right? So if you get 10,000, you still have access to 90K that you can get, but you need to get it within that window of opportunity, because once you miss it, then that's it. It becomes more difficult for you to get funding. So this is the information that I give you to transform your life in the Funding Academy. So that way you understand how these lenders, these banks, these credit unions, they make lending decisions, because they're telling you it's right in your face. It's on the website. They will give you up to $100,000 in unsecured revolving business funding for a brand new business. But you have to know how to position your personal credit, how to structure your business, and which banks to go with, because there's some banks, they will give you the funding, but it ends up reporting on your personal on the personal side, right? And you don't want that. You don't want 100K here from one bank, 50,000 from one bank reporting on your personal credit, because now you're going to have too much credit. Because if you have too much available credit, then right, lenders are going to start looking at you as, you're too risky because you have too much credit. If you default at any given time, then lenders don't want to take that risk. So that's why getting funding that doesn't report on the personal side is very important. And in the Funding Academy, I have a list of lenders that have lending product that doesn't report on the personal side. Because listen, all you need to do is understand how to position your personal credit, how to structure your business so you are not in a high risk industry, you are in the low risk industry, and you know and know which banks and credit unions to go with. You can get 50,000, you can get 40,000, you can get 60,000, but just know that you can get up to 100K. That's the maximum they will give you unsecured, without having to provide business tax return, without even having to go to the bank. You don't even have to go to the physical branch, the branch. All the application is done online, whether it's over the phone or you submit it or it's manual underwriting, right? The application is over the phone, but access to the capital is there. So now once you have access to it, right, you can, you can sit on that capital, and when an opportunity presents itself, you can make a move But you can't say that there is no access to capital. You can't say that the banks are not lending money, because they are lending. They are saying, we will give you a line of credit up to $100,000 for your brand new business. If you get 5K, that means you still have $90,000 or $95,000 to get, but you have to know, how do I do it? Because every time you do an application, or every time you ask for a credit limit increase, you end up getting an inquiry on your credit profile. So I talk about, so this is where I come in. My goal is to show you, listen, you need to minimize on getting too many inquiries on the personal side, but maximize on getting the funding, right? So in the Funding Academy, I have training videos. I have, resources showing you how to play this game, how to take advantage of this strategy. So listen, I'm going to leave the link below to the Funding Academy. As I said, right now, the price is going up in April. Today's what? I'm doing this April 1st. So the price is going up. So get in, get the information to transform your life so you have access to capital. 100K from one bank, 50K from another bank. So now you have 150. And you can repeat that same process or that same method to different financial institutions and get as much as you can. There's a window of opportunity to do that. I talked about it in the video before. I took it down because, right, some people just don't appreciate free information. So that's why now, hey, listen, you want to know? In the Funding Academy, this is where I tell you, the moment you incorporate your business, you have a limited time. You have a window to try to get as much funding as you can. Because after that window, it's going to be difficult for you, because now the banks are going to be asking for tax document. They want to see income statement. They want to see sales. They want to see, business plan, right? But when it's a brand new business, it's based on how your personal credit is positioned, how your business is structured, and which banks to go with. So that's why I'm here. The Funding Academy. It's a one-year academy. This is where I coach you. Training videos. You can ask me questions. We communicate. You can ask questions and get the knowledge, the information, the strategy to position yourself. So listen, I'm out of here. I'm going to see you all in the next video. I am out.